Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Home Staging Talk Show Live. I'm Jenny Norris, your host. Thank you for joining me. Let me know if you are tuned in. We're streaming live to both our Home Staging Talk Show page and group on Facebook. So if you comment, you need to sign your comment because this platform doesn't allow me to see who is actually sharing that they're joining us. So anyhow, happy to be with you. The talk show has been sponsored and hosted by the International Association of Home Staging Professionals, IAHSP, the original Home Staging Association, now in our 22nd year, which is amazing. And I am the chairwoman and very proud to be representing our industry and serving all of our members. So I do always start off our show with some announcements. We've got a special guest, Joseph Haecker, who's going to join us, and we'll talk about his talk. He's going to be a featured speaker at our conference, also at the Advanced Stager Training, and he always has something in the works. So we'll find out what the latest and greatest is with Joseph. But before we do that, let's talk about the conference. It is coming up September 24th, 25th, and 26th here in Denver. So if you are planning to come, you need to register because we are now at the point where we are discussing numbers with the hotel. I have to be able to give them numbers for meals and seats and configuration of the ballroom and so forth. And so you need to register. And I know a lot of you have been sitting on the fence. It's been a very hectic year, which is a blessing. And yet just take 5 minutes and register. It'll take you that long. It's very quick. But we need to get the numbers so we can predict how many people we're going to have. The hotel, by the way, the room block that we have, it will terminate on August 23rd, I believe. At that point, the hotel rates will be the normal hotel rates, which are going to be probably double to triple what we were negotiated. And so you do not want to wait to get your reservation at the hotel. And if you are interested in room sharing at the hotel, with another colleague, you just got to let us know. We have a Facebook page. You can post that you're looking for a roomie, and that's a great way to get to know somebody. There are either 2 beds in a room or 1 king, so you would just ask for the 2 queens or 2 fulls. And I have specifically specified with the hotel we are not doing run of house. And what that means is you get what you get when you check in, and I'm like, that is not going to be acceptable. So whatever you book is what you're supposed to get when you get to the hotel. So the Gaylord Hotel is beautiful. It is the Gaylord Rockies. That's where we're holding our event. And it is a big mountain lodge feel. They pay homage to a lot of the Indian heritage that is here. So you guys are going to love the hotel. And of course, the setting in September, this time in Denver, it could be warm. It could snow. We just don't know. And I won't know probably until like the week or so prior what the weather's going to be like. So we will just be prepared for anything. And our speakers, of course, we got an awesome speaker lineup. So first, our keynote speakers, we bring you 4 for the price of 1. So Chris Widener is our business keynote. He's talking about making a big impact business. His book, Lasting Impact, is his 22nd bestseller. And so we're very excited to have him. He has had TV shows with Zig Ziglar. He's worked with Jim Rohn. He's very well known in the speaking world. And as far as a business motivational speaker, top 50 in the world, ranked by the people that rank the speakers. So we're very privileged to have him. Then you have Ravi Huthesing on the right-hand side, formerly with the band Hanson. So he's a musician, a cultural catalyst. And he is going to be speaking on mindset. And he has reinvented himself 3 or 4 times throughout his career. He's actually related to the Gandhi family who ran India, the political family. They are his cousins. And so he has a real global perspective. But his talk is on pivot, the difference between staying relevant and becoming redundant, which we don't want to become. Down the bottom right corner, Johnny Fowler, probably the best social media expert I've ever listened to. He probably talks as fast as I do, if not faster. And he is going to be giving us a ton of information related to social media and how to outsmart algorithms and where to be posting and where to be taking our time to do things and how engagement works on Facebook, for example. So those of you that like people's posts, that does absolutely nothing for them or you. At the very least, you want to do the heart, the love, and that means the next 3 people, that person that you loved their post will see your next 3 posts. Okay. And if you comment, the same thing. So that's just one little tidbit I learned from Johnny. He's going to be giving us a whole lot more. So he is our marketing keynote. He's also part of our marketing designation, which is the SMS, the IHOSP SMS Sales and Marketing Specialist, which I'll talk about in just a second. And then Deshauna Barber on the bottom left. You guys caught her segment a couple weeks ago. She's articulate, knowledgeable. She uses a lot of humor when she speaks, and she is our inspirational keynote. So we are very excited to have her joining us. Chris, Deshauna, and Johnny will all be on Sunday, and Ravi will be the keynote wrap up on Saturday. And Saturday we have a lot of our breakout sessions. So those speakers we are very fortunate to have sharing various topics. We have June Carter and Marianne Cherico, Bridget King, Karen Mendenhall, Kat Trelinos, Tori Toth, Teresa Thomas, a lot of TTs, alliterations, Amy Powers and Leslie Kramer. And so hey, Joseph, I know you're here. I will bring you in a moment. Their topics are listed on our site, but they are for beginner, intermediate, and advanced speakers. And okay. And so we will be able to have those topics. We are going to be recording all of their sessions. So depending if you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced level, you will stay in your assigned room, and the speakers are going to come in and rotate, versus in the past, it's been sort of a mad dash in the hallway. And it occurred to me after our last conference that, why can't people just stay in their seat according to their level, and then the speaker comes in. And again, you'll be able to get all the information because we are going to record it, so you won't miss out on anybody. You just won't see them that exact day. And then our main stage speakers, excuse me, I gotta find the graphic here. Oops, where is it? Main stage speakers right here. Okay. These topics, so Joseph is speaking on leveraging networks, part of the SMS designation. Joanne Leonard Weary talking about marketing, being a boss of marketing, also part of the SMS. Mine is a discovery session, DISC, also part of the SMS. And then we have a realtor panel that will have John Reagan, John Norris, Stephen Norris, and it'll be hosted by myself. We'll probably have one more person on there. And then Sandra Reyes will be talking about staging and design trends. So you can take a look and see when those sessions are happening. Of course, our designation, our conferences are always a getaway with a takeaway. So your takeaway this year will be the IHOSP SMS Sales and Marketing Specialist. And this is important because we need to know how to not only market ourselves, but also think out of the box and add it as an value add service that we offer or include with our agents and our clients. How can you help them market their business and help them get more business? So that's part of the designation, the focus. So we are very excited to have all of these wonderful, wonderful speakers. And of course, our advanced stager training is the Monday and Tuesday following conference. So the 27th and 28th of September is the advanced stager training. This is for 6-figure and above stagers, business owners. And so if that's you or you're close, get in there and get registered. So, oops, that says Jacksonville, Florida. I'm sorry. Anyway, 6-figure and above stagers. So if you qualify, you're close, get registered. Now, when you register for that and you also register for conference, you're going to save $100 off the AST. And these are our speakers so far for that we are very fortunate to have. 2 of our keynotes are going to be joining us. This is the first. Chris Widener and Johnny Fowler are staying over, and they're going to be speaking directly to this small group. This is a limited space. So you cannot wait until the last second to register for the AST. And it's more of a workshop setting. It's not like each person speaking is going to get up and then you just have to sit there and take notes. It's very interactive, very ask questions, talk about challenges that we face, because we all go through the same things. And sometimes we feel like I'm the only one that's had this experience, or I'm the only one, that is having this challenge or what have you. And the fact is you're not. And it's great to hear what other people have done to overcome that challenge, or if they're in the midst of it as well. It's very helpful. So we have also Frank Moyer, who'll be talking about finances and strategic planning now and into the future. Because as business owners, what are you doing to set up your retirement? And, we don't work for big companies where there's 401ks necessarily. So you need to be doing this for yourself. There's also ways you can fund your own business growth through certain vehicles, and we need to know about those. Joseph will be sharing. I have Get Out of the Box, just because he's always out of the box, how he thinks and approaches things. So but on marketing and so forth. So he'll be there. Joanne Leonard Weary will be sharing, as well as Sandra, and then Sheila Dragon down in the bottom center. She's going to be talking about what she's been able to do with the investor side and being able to make her money work for her. So instead of just staging the properties, whether it's a stager or you're doing short-term rentals and setting those up, you'll actually be the one with the property and being able to benefit from the real estate market that way. She's going to teach how she was able to develop that. And then, of course, I'll be sharing as well. So that, again, is September 27th and 28th in Denver. And so do not wait to get registered because space is limited. It does include your meals. So lunch and dinner on the first night, and the second day will be lunch, and we'll have coffee and so forth. And I want you all to know I'm giving up my son's birthday is the 27th, and I had told myself years ago that I wouldn't do things on my kids' birthdays. So it is a sacrifice in some regard, and you'll all meet him at the conference. He'll be there as well as all 4 of our children will be helping. I don't know if they know that yet, but it's a family affair. So you'll be able to see everybody there. But definitely get registered, and it's a really, really great session. Our awards dinner will be on Sunday. We're going to wrap up our conference with a big party, Roaring 2021 Great Gatsby Gala. So get excited for that. And we'll have dinner, awards, dancing, etc. So come in costume. Don't come in costume. It's totally up to you, but we're going to have fun. Hey, Bobby. And then I do want to talk about our sponsors. We are so grateful for them, and more coming on. We have Coaster, who's one of our diamond sponsors, and then gold sponsors Olix, ProPack, which is art, Sherwin-Williams, of course, Paint the World, Staged Homes for education. Our silver sponsors, we've got Court Furniture Rental, High-End Accents. This is a new company, by the way, people watching, and so they do have accessories and so forth. That's a new company that formed, I guess, through COVID, and they are one of our sponsors. And so check them out. Never Measure. We had Brian on our membership call on Monday, and he showed his Never Measure tool. It's a great way to hang artwork that you don't have to put 18 holes in the wall or have something that's askew and you're hammering the right-hand side because you didn't get it straight. And he's also working on a large art, one that's like 6 feet wide, 6 foot version, because the one he has right now only goes out 36 inches. So he'll hopefully have that to roll out at our conference, which we're excited about. Judas, which is staging solutions to make things more streamlined. JLW Company, Joanne Leonard Weary, teaching courses on color and design and so forth. Stage to Buy, Leslie Kramer, talking about exiting your business and selling your business, positioning yourself for a successful sale. Stage Force, which is the inventory tracking and management system. And then Tori Toth, who does video visibility, a lot of marketing strategies and so forth for your business. So thank you to all of our sponsors. And we will be going to Las Vegas Market. Krista Jessup and I, and possibly another person headed out here. That is in August. We will be meeting with more vendors. And so, if you're going to Vegas, let me know. Reach out to me because it'd be fun to meet up and connect. I know it's going to be hot as blazes there, but we will be excited to be in Las Vegas for the market. Our Best of Home Staging nominations have closed. And for those of you that are wondering if you got nominated, I have a giant list that I still have to go through and send out all the logos because they all came in at the last minute and I was out of town. Thank you, Andrea. I appreciate it. She says, congrats on your award picture. And so I was going to share that coming up, but I appreciate you mentioning that. The Best of Home Staging. So I have a huge list. I've got to go through, send everything out. For some of you, emails may not work, so I may end up messaging you through Facebook. So just check that out for the nomination. And then the final people, the recipients, will be put on a list, official list, and that will be released at the end of July. So look for that. And congratulations to all the nominees so far. And what Andrea is mentioning is this. Top 100 people in real estate. So I was honored to be on the cover of this magazine that just came out. It's the summer edition. It's the only one for real estate, top 100 people in real estate for, I believe, the year from the top 100 magazine. So my daughter took that picture. So Lauren Norris, she's a professional photog. Those of you that are local and need some great headshots or anything like that for marketing, she does a great job. So I was really proud of her. And we had fun that day on the photo shoot. And then I do want to talk about for the advanced stager training, this program is going to roll out. So it's called Scale. program business for growth. So SCALE. And if those of you know how to scale a business or what that means, it doesn't mean replicate. It doesn't mean like franchise. Scaling basically means you grow your business strategically to the point where you don't necessarily have to be in the day-to-day unless you really want to, but you're working on your business, not in it every day. And that's ultimately the goal, because you, being the visionary and the CEO of your company, need to be looking and working on higher level things, establishing relationships and so forth. You don't need to be the one packing the bins, driving the truck, fixing the furniture, doing all of that. You need to put a team in place if that's your goal. And this is going to teach you how to do that. So SCALE stands for start, climb, advance, lead, and elevate. And under each category, there are a ton of steps, there's forms and so forth. And so that should be complete by conference. I'm going to roll it out then at the advanced stage or training. And then our goal is to take that on the road to teach people in different regions. And whether that is added to the master's class as part of it, I'm taking a look at that. It just depends on how long it takes me to teach all the content and what people really want to learn actually in class versus sort of read and absorb on their own. So I believe that should be all of my announcements. Let's see here. I think that is it. Okay, so with that said, let's bring Joseph in. Joseph, did you disappear? Let's see here. I think Joseph, if you're watching, I don't see you in my studio. Scroll forward. Nope. All right, so I'll wait for Joseph. Joseph, come back. If you're watching, I'm going to text him on my phone here really fast. It said he was ready to go in to come into the studio. And sometimes I think when I don't immediately bring people in, oh no, he's back. Okay, good. You're back. Okay, let me find you. Okay, no problem. I just got to find you here. Let's see, scroll to the right. There you are. Okay.
I am going live from Green Spaces here in Denver, Colorado. We just wrapped up 1 million cups, so
wow. Okay.
I'm on location.
You're on location.
Running around.
It's so sad. So those of you guys watching, Joseph, you moved here in October. I think I've seen you less since you moved here than I did in the past. It's because of COVID and all that crap. So we are going to get together. We do need to, but it's he's allergic to my cat, so he has a hard time when he comes to the house because he's highly allergic. So we have to meet up at pubs and fun places downtown. And so
street corners, it's really weird.
Exactly. It's like random. There's Joseph. We got some electric scooters too. That'd be kind of fun to zoom around on.
Oh yeah.
Logan bought my son.
Getting around downtown is a blast.
Yeah, it is fun. So tell people, for people who don't know who you are, which I don't know if they've been living under a rock, but go ahead and share.
So I am a serial entrepreneur. I, for years, designed light fixtures in Vegas and all throughout the world. So if you've been to Vegas, you've probably seen my work. And then in 2011, my aha moment was I felt that the future of design collaboration would be a social platform. So that took me into the world of tech. And I really got to cut my teeth in a lot of different things and meet some incredible people. Eventually that turned into a talk show. Went live on Facebook with F the Trends. And that turned into the whole thing. And with Jenny, we had the Property Brothers on, and we just did some fun, random things. And that was a blast. Then I went on to produce shows, and I learned that producing the shows is different. You got to put on a different hat, and there's sales cycles for advertising that I wasn't aware of. So I learned a lot, and then now back in tech. So we've got JoinInCrowd. We're sitting on a couple of tech platforms as well, and then looking to relaunch a few more tech platforms in the next year or two. So.
And he's being very modest. If you go to Las Vegas, go to the Cosmopolitan Hotel and that chandelier bar. That's his installation, and that is the world's largest chandelier, right? To your knowledge?
Yeah, it was the world's largest chandelier. The world's largest chandelier currently is in Indonesia.
Oh.
And I did work on the concept work, but I didn't get brought on for the actual fixture. But I worked on the concept work, so I worked on both.
And and I always call you a connector because you're so many people in so many different realms. They could be high tech, they could be movie stars, they could be in design world, they could just be in the business world, and you are able to connect these people. And I mean, he hadn't even been in Denver very long, and he formed a business mentoring group that you do on Saturday mornings, right? Small business mentoring. He lives downtown, and so when COVID and the restaurants were struggling, you started this thing called Genie, which basically allowed the restaurants to have a set, like a special, and then there would be a limited amount of quantity of those, and then people had to place those orders online, and then they were delivered. And so you just, with the tech behind it, and just to help these restaurants survive and thrive, right?
Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff. So now I'm a volunteer with 1 Million Cups, which is a weekly pitch competition. It lets startups get in front of an audience of people, present their idea for feedback. So it's free to pitch. It's also free to attend and give feedback. It's a great networking spot. So if you're in the area Wednesdays between 9 and 10, I've also started bare naked pitch events because as much as I dig this, they tend to be pretty straight-laced. So I'm doing events that are more like Nickelodeon Slime Night. So while you're pitching, you might get slimed. We're doing a bunch of just random events to make the startup space a little bit more entertaining.
Let's also bring people together. You started movie night in the park, or random movie, like pop-up movie night. So there'd be a pop-up movie somewhere, and you watch the movie hopefully before somebody tells you to get out of the space.
Yeah, so that is outdoorfilms.club, and on Thursday nights, it is a underground pop-up outdoor movie that we host at abandoned buildings throughout downtown. So when you register online, you get a location to go check in, and then we hand you a slip of paper with a secret address. So yeah.
That's awesome. And
then I do a lot of random things.
I don't know if I'd be very good at this one, but you have the beer tag. Beer tag.
So this Saturday, if you're in the Denver area, this is cup in hand, adult freeze tag. So you have to keep a Dixie cup with beer in it, and you run around trying to tag people. If you spilled your beer, then the tag doesn't count, and you've got to go fill up and then go try to tag people again. So I love connecting people, and honestly, that was like, hey, I'm bored on a Saturday. The movie nights where I was bored on a Thursday, so let's just do random stuff. So
yeah, and it's
definitely
fun
connecting people.
Yeah, and that's the goal, is to get people who wouldn't normally meet each other to connect, because it's always, in any business, is always who you know that takes you where you want to be. What you know is important, but who you know is, I think, equally as important. So,
and that's what we'll be talking about at the event for leveraging networks. I was just talking with a bunch of people today about that. It's about giving more and connecting people more. And from that, like, I'm amazed at the people that I know, that I can call right now, that I can text, and it's just pretty amazing. And all that's pretty much through connecting people, giving more than I take.
I love that attitude of you give more than you receive, and you give not expecting to receive, because there's some people that do things with a string attached, and then they'll try to collect on that string, like, well, I did this for you, so you owe me. And I've never seen you have that approach at all. It's always, how can you'll listen to somebody like, I can help them do X. I can help them with this other thing. And then you openly share, which is even how I started the talk show, was through you. Talking and picking your brain and saying, can I bogart your ideas? You said, it's not necessarily my idea. Sure. And you helped me understand all of this technology and how to get it done. So
even at the very beginning of all that, I got a call from Gary Vee and his team, and gave them all my notes on how to get started on hosting lives. Because back then he was doing pre-recordeds, but he wasn't doing lives. And the formula back then was, I think a lot of people were just going on live and just talking. But the formula was really about having your guests on. That part is what really made the difference as far as numbers go. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, we had a 3-hour conversation with Gary Vee and his team.
Which is great. And so let's talk just for a second about JoinInCrowd. So I have an ad that's going into our Realtor Board, magazine, and I do get a lot of business from being in there and being on their site and so forth. But I put my barcode for JoinInCrowd, and my past ad that was a couple of years ago, it was just a QR code, but it took people directly to my website. So what I'm putting in now is the QR code that goes to my JoinInCrowd, because it's, those of you that don't know what JoinInCrowd, JoinInCrowd.com is your business card, but it's digital, but it does a whole lot more than that. It's not just, information, it's interactive. So I have a video loaded up on my banner. You can change it for less than $10 a year. You could do that. So talk a little bit more about JoinInCrowd and how we need to be using that.
Yeah. So this is. Oh wait, where'd it go? That's my.
We can't see. Go that way. Let's see. Go to your right. There you go.
So that's my card, and it's on my screensaver. And so sharing it's real easy. It's literally like people just swipe their phone in front of it. It picks up on their internet. It's web-based, so they can use it. You don't need an app for it. And then it simply takes you right to my information, where you could download my information right to your phone. And I'm upgraded, so for $1 a month, I get to have a video banner. So if I were to hand you my business card, I don't know anything about what you did with it. And odds are that you probably won't be able to tell what I do from my business card. A lot of business cards are really cute. They got their logo. They spend, a lot of them you can't even read because the font's too small. Or yeah. So your card is supposed to communicate what you do. It's supposed to. Business cards were originally calling cards, and they were left behind so that people could get a hold of you, and they could also learn a little bit about you. So, JoinInCrowd, it's just simply replacing the business card. It conveys your information. It has video so that people can learn about what it is that you're offering, and that way when they pull up your card, they can be like, oh yeah, that's what Jenny does. Also, for the upgrade, you get to do all your activity. Who's clicking on your card? When you shared your card, so you get a full, if I share my card with you, Jenny, and you don't look at it for a couple of days, I'll be able to go into my activity, and I'll be able to see that you started clicking on my website, you visit my Facebook, you visit my Instagram, and then, maybe if I want to be creepy, I could reach out to you and be like, hey, Jenny, I was just thinking about you. So yeah, anyhow, it gives you insight.
Yeah, because it gives the analytics, so people who are, and somebody who's doing that obviously is interested in what you're offering versus someone who doesn't do that. You're not going to necessarily take time to follow up with somebody who hasn't engaged, but you get the engagement activity, and it goes. I mean, if they send your, hey, here's a great stager, here's a great marketing person, and they give your link to someone else, it'll keep tracking that wherever it goes, which is really cool.
Yeah, and people can share it. So if I share my card with you, and you wanted to run it by John or through any of the kids or somebody else you could forward it on. You could share it on social media. So it makes my card shareable. I think that we forget that part. When we hand a person a card, we think that we've left our contact information. But in reality, in most transactions, people have to run that by someone else. They're going to run it by a spouse or a mother-in-law or somebody else. So sharing your contact info digitally, it's got a lot of benefits.
Yeah. So those of you that have it, and it's free it's complimentary. I said there's no value in free, but it doesn't cost anything to sign up. So JoinInCrowd.com. You got to do it on your computer or on your phone. You have to actually go on a browser to do it. So it's not an app. It's actually on the web.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty easy. JoinInCrowd.com. We say it in the name.
Yeah.
JoinInCrowd.
JoinInCrowd.
And then we've been having fun with the videos. Have you seen some of the commercials that we're putting out?
Yes.
So one of the things that I've learned was originally when we launched this, I thought this was going to be a lot of B2B type of stuff, a lot of businesses using this as a business card. turns out that you got like a lot of millennial and early 30s, early 20s people that are just using this to share their contact information. Girls out at clubs and stuff, instead of texting you their number, and now they've got your phone number, they can share their card this way. So it's interesting. We're finding that people are simply creating a bunch of cards for all their different side hustles and just to share their contact info.
Yeah, and you can create as many cards as you want. It doesn't cost anything. The fees only come in if you decide to upgrade, and if you do the 1 year in advance, it's like $9, and then you have all the analytics and stuff. So it's very, very cost affordable. And I think it's a genius idea, creative genius, Joseph Haecker. You're always the mind. His mind just never stops. I know you don't sleep much, or he sleeps like sporadically.
Yeah.
And so his mind is always going. And I'm excited to have you at the conference too, because, marketing wise, you're, doing the live show, for example, you were way ahead of the curve. And then a lot of the digital things that you're working on, people like, for example, the trade show industry, you have a relationship with one of the largest providers of trade shows in the world, right? And working with, talk a little bit about that, because that was totally ahead of the curve too.
Yeah, so when the pandemic broke out, I don't know if you guys caught on social media, I launched in-home shopping stream live on Facebook. And essentially this was QVC on Facebook. So when I first launched it, I knew that if I got 12 companies to join on, that through paid boosting, we could clear 178,000 views. That was a nice, decent number. We only got 6 companies. And so I was a little bummed. I figured, well, we'll get half. In 7 days, we cleared 504,000 views, and we produced nearly 300,000 clicks to those 6 companies' websites. We did it again, and now we were deeper into COVID, and this time I only got 4 companies: Zuo, Relativity Textiles, Deltile, and Kita Safety Products. This time we cleared 714,000 clicks.
Amazing.
Or views, and we produced nearly 600,000 clicks to those companies' websites. And then COVID sunk in, and I couldn't get anybody to sign up for these things. And I figured, okay, well, it was a good idea, just bad timing. And then in May, I got a call from Informa saying, hey, we watched it. We know Deltile. We know Kita. We know Chip Wade. Can you do this for us? So they sent me a 5-year contract to produce QVC-style programming for Informa. Then in October, I flew 4 news reporters out to High Point, and we did product features at High Point. We produced 50 videos for 44 companies in 3.5 days. And I forget our numbers on that. I think we got cleared like 282,000 views and produced like, I think it was like 83,000 clicks to those companies' websites. So Informa called me up again and said, wait, are you sending news reporters out to trade shows? So they sent me a 10-year contract to send news reporters out to trade shows. So we were just out in Vegas. Vegas started to open up trade shows again in June. And so we were just out there for kind of our first go run, and it was amazing. They are still getting clicks and views to the content that we created back in June.
And Informa is sort of like they're like a massive conference convention, host, right? They have all different types of industries that plug in to host their events through their platform, or.
Yeah, Informa produces 1,200 trade shows a year in a good year. In 2017, they acquired, I believe it was like UBM, which was like the 2nd largest trade show operator, to become the largest trade show operator. So my contracts, the 2 contracts, the 5- and 10-year contract, is actually with Informa. So in a good year, we could potentially be sending reporters out and creating PVC-style content for all 1,200 shows.
Pretty exciting. You're going to be tired. You're going to have to scale so that you don't have to be the one flying everywhere. Although, he's so funny because he lives very simply and he has everything in his backpack versus we went to go visit Catherine and Kimberly Swan over the weekend. We left on Friday, came back Sunday, and I had like a big suitcase that was 42 pounds plus my carry-ons. And I can't even blame it on the shoes. I don't know how come my suitcase was so heavy, but it's all the makeup and the hair and the outfits. I wasn't sure what I wanted to wear. So you're ready to go on a moment's notice. And the reason why this is I had him share this is because the reach that he got is way more than the foot traffic at any of these markets, for example. So the fact that they were able to get 500,000, 700,000 people to see their product all over the world, and then be able to have that engagement, that's way more than what they're going to get in a live show. So you want to be doing both, and no one is doing what you're doing.
Yeah, it's a little bit ahead of things. I tend to do that. People are like, "What the hell's Joe doing?"
You're the trailblazer.
Yeah. So, but it's good for the industry. I launched in-home shopping because I was watching the trade shows cancel, and I knew that when the trade shows canceled, the retailers weren't going to be able to source. And if the retailers can't source, then how are the consumers going to be able to get the newest things? And this was just going to affect the supply chain. So I did my part. I gave it a shot. And now when you're looking at trade shows, a lot of trade shows are just going to go right back to the same old stuff that they were doing in 2019, hoping that, everything rebounds. The smarter trade shows realize that we went Zoom, and we're going to have to do some sort of hybrid going into the future.
Yeah.
It's funny because trade shows were really afraid of that online stuff. If you remember, if you go back even 5-10 years ago, trade shows didn't allow you to even take photos. Like when you went to market, they still have signs.
Right.
When you go out to Vegas, look for them. They're still there that say no photographs. And yet we're walking around with our cell phones doing like, TikToks and all kinds of stuff. So
and then
it's funny, the industry.
I was going to say this, and it's short-sighted because, like, if you post something or I post something to my, Facebook or Instagram, and other people see it, it's only going to help give business to that entity, because that person that's sitting at home isn't at market. I'm not taking secrets, but it basically they have to get their information out there so people want to buy their product. Digital isn't so important.
Yeah, it was a rub I had with Market. Market and I differed on that one. They like to use their influencers for that, and I was saying that when COVID hit, I felt that Market should have called up all of us. It should have called anybody who had an audience and said, "Hey, we can't get people in front of products. We need you to help us get the products in front of people." And I think that was our industry moves slow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And because because you know people, so many of the people that own these companies, and they're personal friends, and you're like, the whole thing about the whole supply chain thing. But it's not only just that consumers wouldn't be able to buy things. It's people that and partnership and so forth for years that they were going to be struggling. So you have a way to kind of provide a solution that they were excited about. So otherwise, they wouldn't have had that huge reach.
I mean. High Point alone, we produced 83,000 clicks, right? In a good year at High Point, in their best year. And this counts all the vendors, this counts everybody. They get 75,000 people in attendance. Then that's not all buyers or specifiers. Those are the salespeople. Those are everybody that comes into High Point. We produced 83,000 clicks. So we produced 7,000 more clicks than their best year at High Point. 75,000 people aren't all buying. 75,000 people aren't all really even interested. We produced 83,000 clicks. So
the people who were interested. Yeah, actually interested potential.
You only click if you're interested.
Right.
Yeah. So it was, I think that we can learn a lot. I had a vendor while I was out there say, "Hey Joe, so what is I got the emails that you were coming out, you were going to do this, but I get your emails," and she even shared with me, she's like, I've been in meetings where a year later I realized, oh, that's what Joe was talking about, and I was like, well then sign up faster. Come on, jump on faster, because she was like, otherwise, you're on to the next thing. I was like, yeah, if I am not validated on this, I'll test an idea. It might be ahead of something, but I'll test an idea, and if people don't jump on, then I'm going to move on to the next thing. You know, I was like, but if you see an idea that you see that like it makes sense, or if you see me throwing something out there, just sign on. Like, just go for the ride, because you'll probably be ahead of it. Luis over at Zuo, does a ton of video content, and he's big on TikToks. And that was because we were bringing out reporters and we were doing all this stuff. And he's like, hey, I could do this too. I was like, yeah, you don't really need me. You could do this stuff on your own. Like go have more fun with it.
Yeah, and having a presence on video. You were one of the first ones to do any kind of a live talk show, I believe, on Facebook. You had the first live broadcast show platform that you did. Yeah, you were the first to do some sort of, we had the guests and so forth. And back then, I think, and that was only, what was that, like 3 years ago, right? Three?
Yeah.
3 years ago.
If you guys follow Luann Nagara, I was the first to get her to go live. So I was going to be on her podcast. And then while she was having some like connection issues and just setup issues, and I was like, oh, well, let's just go live on Facebook. And she's like, Joe, I've never done this before. And then she couldn't get it set up, so we went live on my account. And so I started the show. I was like, so today I'm live on Luann's show. So and now she's like the queen of doing like live events, and she's put on like these big old seminars. And so yeah, I was the first one to get her to go live.
Well, yeah, and I think people are afraid of video. The technology, they're afraid, like, what if something goes wrong? Like right now, something farted out on this thing. I would just go, reboot and come back in. It's happened. I've had, I'm using my computer, but I've done it with my cell phone before and had the thing like in a little holder, and the cameras go flying out, and it's like, you guys are seeing at the floor and all that kind of thing. And it's just, you just got to roll with it. And I think so technology, I think, scares people, but I think more than that, it's the fear of how we look and how we sound. And people are going to judge me, and so they don't want to put themselves out there. And I just kind of, the first time I did it, I had a tripod, and it was on the ground, and so I was looking down. I'm like, oh, you get that effect. I'm like, oh my God, that's horrible. So then it's like you got to elevate it. So you learn things, right? But I don't think anybody was like, I'm not going to watch your show ever again, or she's terrible just because I had a horrible angle, or maybe my hair didn't look good, or whatever. So we have to get over our self-image concerns, and our, people just and people like you being real. They don't want it to be all polished and professional. The unexpected when it happens. There's been so many times I wish I had my camera going when something unexpected happens, because it's like, God, that would have been so funny to show.
I had so on one episode I had Randy Spelling, Tori Spelling, from 90210, the original 90210. So Randy Spelling, her brother. I had him on. His publicist booked him for the show because he had a book coming out. So I knew he had a book to plug. So he comes on, and the entire episode I kept calling him Aaron Spelling. So Aaron, blah, 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 right? And he'd correct me, Randy. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry, Aaron. And I just kept messing up his name the entire time. So we get to the end of the interview, and I was like, oh, hey, so you got a book to plug, so tell us what your book's about. So his book was about growing up in the Spelling household, in the shadow of his dad. And he had everything he could want, but that still didn't prevent his depression and suicidal thoughts. And I was like, oh, God, really? That's so at the end of the show, I was like, off air, I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. You know what? We're good friends still. He's been on the 3 Foot Project, and Randy is an awesome and super forgiving guy. And immediately after the show, this guy, Steven Spatafort, who's a photographer for IMC out in Vegas, and just a great photographer out in Vegas, Steve calls me and is like, Joe, dude, you can't get his name right? Like, how basic is that? He's like, I tune in just to see you faceplant. And I was like, hey, man, you tune in though.
You tune in at the right time. That's funny. Yeah, because I think it shows the human side too. Because when it's all perfect, and I don't know, I mean, as a humans, when you see somebody's like perfectly coiffed and it's hard to relate to. I remember going to a women's retreat years ago, and this one of the featured speakers, she's up on stage, she had like the perfect hairdo and the outfit and so forth, and she's talking about her life and so forth. And I'm like, I really can't relate to her. And it was just too, predictable, perfect. Well, as she's talking, her skirt, she had a skirt on, and it comes sliding down her body on the stage. And so now she's standing there in her slip. And so at that point, the whole audience starts laughing, and then she kind of became more real. And so it's kind of moments like that where you see the humanness of people that you can relate to. Like that could be something to happen to, me where, something does, an outfit doesn't go right or something goes haywire. But I thought, she all of a sudden went from being this perfectly presented person to now you're real. You have a human moment.
Yeah. No, it's funny. We plan things, and I think plans are good. Like set plans, set that goal, but enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the journey.
Enjoy.
So it'll be. I mean, that's what I do. My kids are grown. I do all these different wonky, random things. I find little holes in what's being done, and I fill those holes. And some things pan out, and some things don't. But it's fun giving it a shot. Like there's going to be a day I'm going to sit in a rocking chair, and my grandkids will be like, "Dad, is Grandpa just making this stuff up?" And they'll be like, "Nah, he actually did that stuff."
You'll have your video camera.
It'll
be like you'll have like a, it won't be video. You'll have like the hologram. By then you'll have developed that hologram, and you'll be able to, hey kids, hi Grandpa, and they'll be at their place. You'll pop up with a hologram. If anybody can do it, you can. Yeah.
So I'm excited about the event this year. I'm glad that we're going to be able to meet in person and hang out, and you and I might actually then hang out. Like,
that's my goal.
Even though we're this,
I know, and it's because it's going to be. I mean, it won't be as big. Just because of COVID and so where people are still concerned about traveling. California was talking about shutting down again. I'm just so over the whole thing, but I know it's still serious. One of my really good realtor clients is in the hospital right now in the ICU. So I know it's still out there, but it's been too long being separated. And so I told the hotel, I said, we are going to have it live. I am not going to cancel our event, but they have to work with us on the numbers because we were expecting a large number and had to scale everything back accordingly, the food and beverage and, meeting space and all that. But it's going to be wonderful. We have, all of our speakers are in place, and now we just got to get the people to register. Take a leap of faith. We're not going to cram people in a room. If you're concerned about, social distancing and so forth, there'll be precautions taken, but it's going to be fun. And, I'm looking forward to it.
I'll tell you, and working with the guys last year, Chris and Robbie and Johnny, like it was such a blast working with them virtually that it's going to be cool hanging with them.
Yeah, because you get, those of you, virtual events, a lot of people have like kind of poo-pooed them, like, I don't want to watch virtual. That was what we were relegated to pretty much every conference, if they wanted to have something. But of course, the live element, you feel the energy. It's a completely different experience. And so, and you're going to learn a lot. I mean, the whole goal is to educate, motivate, inspire, have fun, celebrate. So educate, motivate, learn, inspire, celebrate our industry. So we're going to have fun.
Yeah.
So those of you that are
I'm excited for my segments because I feel like, and I don't know that we've talked a lot about this, but I love interactive. So I would love to during my segments, just really field some stuff from the audience and just get some real good engagement. I like Q&A style. I like interactive. So I won't just be sitting there talking. I think one of my benefits is that I like to throw it back to people and let's solve some stuff.
Yeah. If people have a question or things, make them think, not just listen. That's a difference.
Yeah.
And just being able to leverage. So a lot of people, that whole concept of leveraging your networks, I think a lot of people miss that and they feel like they have to start out cold. But it's like, who do you know right now that you can contact that might be able to help you get to where you need to be? And it could be for any business. It's like, who do you know right now? And thinking out of the box about connecting. And it doesn't have to just be staging. It's like, people, one of my sayings is people will lead you to people who need you. People will lead you to people who need you. So you could be talking to anybody and then they find out what you do and then all of a sudden it's like, well, I have somebody that needs that, or gosh, that's a great thing. You need to talk to so-and-so. And so that's how interacting and connecting is so important. And I think it's kind of the antithesis of how a lot of people live. Where were we? Oh no, we were, with the Swans in Oklahoma City. So they moved into this house in Oklahoma City about 5 years ago. And they told us that people had lived there for 16 years and never met each other, neighbors. They'd never done anything. And so I think the Swans had a party, and it was the first time that neighbors had met. And I thought, that's so sad. John and I will do that a lot. We host things. I think people, don't want the mess at their house, but they get home, they drive in their garage, shut the door, go in, and they don't interact. And I think that's societally, I think that's pretty sad that you don't even know who's around you. And so I think becoming more aware, and it's not just to use people for business, but it's just for life, so we're not so isolated. And that's what's been so bad about this last year, is that people were very isolated, and platforms like this did allow us to connect digitally, virtually.
Yeah, and that's why right away I dove in as soon as I open up the doors again. Let's dive into networking. I mean, between 2016 and 2019, I was at 91 trade shows. This is a lot of people, if you know me, might be surprised by this. I'm an introvert. I spend most of my time alone. I've most of my life owned a motorcycle. I am completely fine, and I get energized in my own head. But I know that that getting out, meeting people, connecting with people has really opened up a lot of opportunities for me. Just created a lot of cool experiences, and I've got to meet a lot of great people. And so when we opened up here in Colorado, I was like, dive right into it. So I'm out doing all kinds of different things, organizing different things, and just getting out and meeting people. That's where you really make your connections.
Yeah, and I think you're getting out of your comfort zone to do that, but it's not hard, because for the most part, people are interesting. And I have to say that you always ask really good questions of people, because you're genuinely interested in who they are and what they do. And I think that's part of being a really good networker as well. So it's not just they're talking, you're like, when is it my turn to be able to tell them what I do? It's like, listen to what they are offering, and that's how you make a connection. And then that goes from connection to friendship, and can go deeper than that. So I think I'm just always so impressed with what you do and who you are. And
well, and we didn't talk about this off air or whatever, but so in promoting JoinInCrowd, I host the JoinInCrowd Business Podcast, where I feature companies. And then here locally, I've branched that off, and I do a Denver local. I do a 1 million cup segment, and it was an offshoot. I don't know how this is going to turn out. We've done one of them so far. A friend of mine is in the singles entrepreneur space. So we're even starting to do those kind of podcasts. So while I'm out at the conference, I would love to do a bunch of interviews and then feature them on the JoinInCrowd podcast. So I'll bring my podcast equipment and let's cut a few segments there.
I have to get on that thing. I know I tried to fill out the form, and I couldn't get it to, I don't know, I didn't do something right. So I have to get my.
Well, we should meet for drinks.
I know, yeah, we will. I know. So next week we'll do that, because I know tomorrow we head to Houston. So we're going to go spend some time with Kat and Jeff, Kat Trelinas and Jeff Wong, and anyone. I don't know what we're doing, and those people that are from Houston that are watching, there might be a time that we might be able to say, hey, Jenny's going to be here having whatever, we can hug or something. That'd be fun. But they've been out here twice, so it was our turn to go out to Houston. And I'm not looking forward to that weather. The humidity, oh my God, I died in Oklahoma City. It was that humidity just hits you just like a wall when you get out. So I like our dry weather here. But
I was just saying yesterday, one of the worst spots I've been was Atlanta. And it was so humid. I went to a Hot Topic, and I was staring at the men's kilts, and I was deeply considering buying a kilt just to let things air out. It was so hot and humid.
Yeah, it's funny because actually I saw an article that men's skirts for men, different kilts or whatever, those are on the rise, probably for that reason, because you can wear shorts, but it's kind of to have that not have everything closed in.
Freedom.
Yeah,
Freedom.
Yeah, like was it Mel Gibson? Freedom. The Scottish. What is it? Braveheart.
Yeah, I was dying in Atlanta.
Yes.
Like you're the hotel room and everything's fine, and you walk into the lobby, everything's still fine. You open up the door and it's like your clothes is just like
I know.
stuck. And I was like, oh, I can't hang. And so yeah, that was one time that I deeply considered owning a kilt.
That's funny. Yeah. So those of you that are watching, don't be afraid to do video, and it could even start with like we do reels, Instagram reels, and those you can save those, and I have them upload them to our G Drive. Then I can use those movies in different ways. But the video is very engaging. This one, I do an hour show. It is long, but people can fast forward through content. It doesn't have to be an hour. It could be 10 minutes. But the key is consistency, because once you start getting a following, people are going to start looking for it. So you don't want to start something and then stop or just be sporadic. And so whatever you're going to do, make a commitment. If you're going to do once a month, once a week, do filming at your properties. You don't have to necessarily be in it, but it's nice if you're narrating, or you could just show your finished product and then use that for marketing. But the video element, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Reels, they have Instagram TV, you have Facebook. I mean, there's a lot of places you can post these things and get the engagement.
Yeah, so I do the podcast, and so if anybody wants to reach out, my podcasts take about 10 to 15 minutes. It takes about that long for me to edit them as well, and it's easy content that what I and going back to kind of the topic at the conference is leveraging networks, right? So the podcasts that I do feature other businesses. So I always ask the same question. Can you share a little bit about your business? How'd you get started? What makes your company unique? What are
We have you'll have to come see the house though, because we have our whole backyard, the cement going in, and yesterday they were pouring a wall and they didn't shore the wall up enough, and John heard this loud rumble and the whole thing collapsed out the back, and so all this fresh cement was like pouring down the yard, and I'm like, oh god, those poor guys. And so but it's a big undertaking. We have something like four cement trucks coming over time, and it'll be good. So you'll have to come out. And no Rocky, I'll keep them locked inside. So,
Great cat, just allergic.
I know he's a sweetie, but yeah, you sneeze. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Thank you, Joseph, as always. Thanks everybody for comments. And you can watch this now or in the future. Share it with everybody. You can hit the share button on your on the Facebook